Remakes, adaptations, adaptations of remakes, remakes of adaptations, remakes of remakes, adapted by the remake of. It's getting crazy out here.
In a world of declining marketing budgets, one copywriter will sit and judge.
When a lot of people like a book, you make a movie out of it. It's just what you do. And when a lot of people like an old movie, you might want to remake that movie. It's just what you do. But if you want to remake an adaptation, you should have a good reason to do it. Was the original adaptation bad? Was it not faithful to the book? Was it too faithful to the book? Do you have a new and refreshing perspective on the work? Are you going to tell it in a different way? Was it so uniquely of its time that it's kind of hard to watch? Big hair, high-waisted pants, cheesy synth music? Actually, that sounds pretty good right about now. But you know what I mean. There's a lot of good reasons to remake a movie. But what if that movie is a beloved classic, adored by fans and celebrated by cinephiles, the high watermark for its genre? Should you remake it then? Well, do you have a good reason? In order to make money, it needs to sell tickets. People need to go to a theater. But if you can stream a previous version of this same story that is widely regarded as perfect, why would you bother? So these are the questions I'm going to be asking as I watch, critique, and give a score to Sense and Sensibility trailer. So, how does a marketing team convince an audience to buy tickets to see an adaptation in theaters when they can already stream a really excellent version of that same adaptation at home? Let's watch the trailer and find out. Now, I can't show you the full trailer here, so I put a link in the description to the official trailer, and another link will appear at the top right corner of your screen. I recommend you go and watch the full trailer first. You'll enjoy this review more if you do. And now, without further ado, we begin, as all trailers do, with the opening shot. Okay, we begin with a hand, out of focus, holding a stalk of wheat that is also out of focus, in front of a field that is also out of focus. Perhaps things will come into focus as we play. As I suspected, it is a hand, and I have learned very little. The nails are not too long, not painted, and maybe a little bit dirty. If it is the hand of a woman, she probably works with her hands. If it is the hand of a man, he is a dainty man. It is not clear when this is taking place. It could be the past, the present, or even the future. We have no idea what's going on. It's a strange choice for an opening shot, but technically, if you're watching this online, this isn't actually the opening shot, because this trailer has the bumper, which is like a trailer before the trailer. It's a quick preview of what you're about to see in a movie trailer. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, the reason they exist, back in the day when YouTube introduced skippable ads, movie marketing teams were worried that people would skip their trailer. And rather than trying to make the first 15 seconds of their trailer interesting enough that people wouldn't skip them, they decided that putting bumpers in front of the trailer was the right idea. I reject this concept. I don't know if they have any data to support whether or not these bumpers work, but it seems like they've been using them less and less nowadays. But they still pop up from time to time. So let's find out what they think will keep us watching. I guess that's more dramatic than a hand in a wheat field. Let's hope better things lie in store for us in the setup. The owner of the hand. It's a young woman portrayed by an English actress. One would assume this is our protagonist. She's laying in a field. Is she asleep? Is she sad? Is she overcome with ennui? Is she deceased? We don't know, but perhaps we'll find out. She's alive! Well, that would appear to be Hannah. The first young lady called out the name Hannah and she turned and responded. However, I looked and there's no one named Hannah in this cast. I'm a little confused. Did she not say Hannah? Hannah! Sounds like Hannah to me. Well, in any case, we have two women who may or may not be named Hannah. She's in some sort of a library looking at books. Maybe you heard of them. We have a horse-drawn carriage arriving, loaded with some sort of cargo.
It's Father's will!
Oh, it's Father's will. So Father is deceased. I guess she was sad after all. Meanwhile, we have traditional classical string music playing.
It's Father's will! This house will always be home. We will find somewhere else just as nice with the money Father left us. What money?
Okay, there's quite a reveal. The will has arrived. They're losing the house, and there's also no money. Oh dear. I'm trying to unpack a lot of things here. What are the characters' names? Not sure. One of them may be Hannah. What are their relationships? Presumably 3 sisters and a mother. They live in a large country manor with high ceilings, fine art, and beautiful furniture. Clearly they're not poor. However, if there's no money left in the will, there's something wrong there. One would be forgiven in thinking that this was the problem. However, we're not sure which of these characters is our protagonist, or if it's a two-hander. We've not been given enough information to really understand the problem yet. That's a nice touch with the graphics. The logos in the fog of her breath on the window pane. This is fun, it's creative.
So what?
We have focus features and working title.
My condolences. It was my father's dying wish that I should assist those girls.
Why must dying people always wish for something extravagant?
He is the brother of those girls who must now look after them, and he's not too happy about it. And even less happy about it would be, we'll assume it's his wife. It would be scandalous otherwise. Maybe I'm getting the wrong impression, but it seems like she's not a very likable person.
You hate her too. Admit it. Ugh.
Well, as far as I can tell, that looks suspiciously like the problem. Their father has passed away, leaving them no house, no money, and no future. And now they have to go and live with their brother and his witchy wife. And you thought you had problems. Ugh. That's a good cut. It's visual, it's kinetic, it's interesting. Be interested.
He's not handsome, is he?
Okay, we're being introduced to a new character through the eyes of these two girls. He's not handsome, is he? Maybe it's intended to be a mystery.
You go.
The question is, who is this guy? Why is he here? What's the deal? The music tells me he's handsome. I don't know if I'd agree. Sound off in the comments.
Forgive me, Edward Ferrars.
Eleanor Dashwood.
Did she say enema?
Eleanor Dashwood.
Emina? I have to Google this. Eleanor.
Eleanor Dashwood.
Eleanor. Eleanor. British accent. Soft R's. That's our protagonist, Eleanor.
Eleanor Dashwood.
Enema Dashwood.
Forgive me, Edward Ferrars.
Edward Ferrars. Soft R's. I don't know if I recognize any of these actors. They're mostly British or English. From Great Britain, the United Kingdom.
You sound like you're from London.
I'm sure they've won a lot of BAFTAs and stuff.
I like him.
I like him. He's love at first sight, isn't it? Problem solved.
I greatly esteem him. I greatly esteem him. Eleanor, use those words again. I shall leave the room.
It's a fun moment, sisters gossiping about a guy, lines from the book. However, this isn't just lust, flirting, a crush. I would dare say this is the desire. In every movie, your protagonist wants something. But it's not just a simple want. I go for a cup of coffee. I'm craving chocolate. No, this is the desire. Sometimes it's a plot device, a MacGuffin.
What is it? The stuff that dreams are made of.
Something they need to beat the bad guy, what have you. Could be a tangible object, a very powerful weapon, an award, money, or they might desire a person. But they don't just want to hook up. It would be scandalous. There's more to it than that. When a person or thing is an object of desire, that person or thing represents a better life. This book was written in 1811, and during that time, in all the British colonies, women didn't have a lot of autonomy unless they had money, which you would typically only get through an inheritance. So your station in life was all dependent on having a husband, especially in the upper classes, which they seem to be. These women couldn't just get a job sewing or something. It would be scandalous.
Can you not get them married, Mrs. Dashwood?
Which is why they had to go live with their brother and his witchy wife. Well, this guy could symbolize a way out, a better life. In the original story, the two sisters are supposed to be
as different as two sisters can be.
They're supposed to represent sense and sensibility. I think there was a slightly different connotation to those words back then, but the point remains. One of them's supposed to be more grounded and practical, and the other one's supposed to be more fanciful and romantic. And I'm not really getting that feeling. And part of that may be because we only see them huddled together gossiping. Maybe that'll change. The violin music is building, there's a big swell, it's an emotional lift.
Use those words again. I shall leave the room. This is Mrs. Jennings.
I am the mother of your mother's cousin's wife.
So, no relation. That's kind of funny, but why did we need such a complicated introduction to this woman? We're spending more time on her than we have the main characters.
I heard about your plight and I said, I have got to help those girls.
I'm not worried about her. She has a cat. She don't need a man. Also, why can't the movie be about her? She seems like the most interesting sister. Care more about her than the other two. They're very self-centered. All they care about is love.
I'll have you all three married before you know it.
At first, I thought this was the plan. I will solve your problem by getting you married. However, on second thought, I realized this is the complication. A complication is a moment in a trailer that makes the problem even worse. Or, if there was a plan proposed, makes that plan harder to accomplish. Enema had a secret desire to marry Mr. Ferrars, and that would have been her plan to solve her problem. But now this woman is going to get her married to some random bloke. In this case, it's kind of both a plan and a complication, which is interesting. Be interested. From the producers of Pride and Prejudice. Maybe you heard of it. This graphic is okay, written with a serif font. Serifs are the little lines at the ends of letters. It looks literary, and this is a pedigree. It's telling you that this will be a good movie because these people have made movies like this before, and you can't get much more similar than Pride and Prejudice. Hinting a little bit at the strategy that they seem to be using, trying to appeal to an audience of people who have already seen and liked other adaptations of Jane Austen's books, at the expense of any other audience. Given the box office results of these other movies, perhaps that's a good move, but it does seem rather limiting. For anyone who doesn't know Jane Austen's other movies and is interested in romance movies or period pieces in general, is this trailer working for them? I think I might be lost. People in the household lined up, kind of a Downton Abbey moment. Mr. Ferrars is there. This is a weird shot to use. I mean, you probably didn't have a lot of options, but he's not prominent in the frame. What am I going to notice first? She's got a cat. Dude on the right has a crazy wig. And then Mr. Ferrars is huddled up in a clump of people holding a child with amazing hair. On first watch, I didn't even notice him there. She's looking sad in the window, driving away with the black hood as if she's going to her own funeral. And in a way, she is.
The man who loves me must burn with it, with all his passions without the slightest restraint or hesitation.
Is that too much to ask? I think the trailer's saying they had to leave their brother's house and go live in squalor in this farmhouse as part of Mrs. Jennings' Complication.
Handsome gentleman saved Marianne's life.
Not her life, good madam, merely an ankle.
There's a problem with the resolution in the audio. Not going to hold that against the trailer, but he says, "Not her life, good madam, merely an ankle." It's a funny line. It should have been easier to hear.
To whom are we so obliged?
Mr. Willoughby, ma'am.
Marianne and Willoughby.
We're kind of starting to see Marianne as a little more of the fanciful romantic sister, and they're all happy for her. She falls, and then we get this fall. Hey, have some fun when you can. And after the date card, we waltz right into the back end. This is a good shot. It's got a lot of production value. The set design, the wardrobe, choreographed dancing. It looks nice. I think it is a little weird to show it from this angle. Kind of makes it feel small to me. You want to see the height of the ceilings. You want to feel like you're being whisked around the room with the dancers. Feels a little anticlimactic.
I was wondering, Miss Dashwood, whether I might ask you.
Yes.
She goes to a ball. They reconnect. The romance isn't dead.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
It is bewitching, the idea of one's happiness depending entirely on another person. It is not always possible.
There we have our thematic back-end line. Sometimes you'd have to do that with copy, but in this case, we have the words of a brilliant author to do it for us. She thinks her happiness can be found with this man, the object of her desire. But it depends on him reciprocating for him to love her back and to actually commit. At this point, you're probably asking yourself, what about the stakes? Well, clearly, if they don't get together, the world will explode. Romances kinda don't have stakes. They either live happily ever after, or whatever the opposite of that is. Unhappily never before?
Your sister seems happy.
Yes.
Such spirit is all too rare.
Well, her sister found the right guy, based on Jane Austen. Iconic masterpiece, off-white ivory color. There's a little bit of a drop shadow, but not quite enough. Where the sky is, it's a little hard to read. So I don't particularly love these graphics. They're giving us another pedigree. However, at this point, I am starting to wonder, is this trailer showing us something different or better than the 1995 version? I don't know that it is. Now look, I know in some degree, it doesn't matter. A lot of people don't remember that. A lot of people never saw it. And I know there's a lot of people who like the 95 version who will go see another version of it. They can't get enough. They'll see every version you make of it. But the previous version was a beloved classic. It's got a near perfect rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Ang Lee, Kate Winslet, Alan Rickman, pour one out for Alan Rickman, Hugh Grant, and of course Emma Thompson, who also wrote it, winning an Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay, and a ton of other awards and nominations. You shouldn't remake old movies just because they're old. It's not like it's outdated. It's a period piece. Why was this movie made? Have they run out of Jane Austen works to adapt? Can no one write an original story set in this time period? Well, we could, but no one in Hollywood wants to take that risk.
These men are cowards.
I think we all know why the studio wanted to make it.
We want some money.
About 10 years ago, Jane Austen's works entered the public domain, and we've seen a number of movies produced because of this. And this is one of the most notable ones. And I think it's clear how they set their movie apart. I'll give you a hint. It starts with Z and ends with Bears. Look, I don't want to get down on the movie itself. It looks amazing. The cinematography, the sets, the wardrobe, stunning. And the actors are crushing it. But I would love to ask the filmmakers, why did you want to make this movie? Surely you saw the other version. Surely you wanted to put your own spin on it. Surely you take your job seriously.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Regardless of what I'm saying here, this movie's probably going to do well, but if you want to maximize its box office return, you have to make it look unique and really good.
You never told him how you feel.
For what? For love.
For love? For now?
For what? For love. For what? For love.
This was the opening shot of the bumper, and thus begins the montage. The point of the back-end montage is to simulate the experience of watching the movie. It's more about capturing a feeling than it is about telling stories. Let's see how they do that. Entering a room and seeing a grand ball. This is basically reusing a shot, which is something you can never do. A small number of people will notice this, but for most people, it's more of a subliminal thing. It's like a social media feed when you come across a meme that you just saw 10 seconds ago. You were getting dopamine hit after dopamine hit from each new thing you saw, but then, no dopamine, kinda lame. You may just put down your phone and go outside and touch grass. Scandalous, never reuse a shot. Scandalous, or even two similar shots. Searching. Disappointment.
Come with me.
Taking her away to cry in private. A quarrel. Marianne's bloke wasn't such a nice guy after all. Meanwhile, Eleanor and Mr. Ferrars seem to be getting along famously. We have a horse for some reason. A horseman of the apocalypse? One of the ring wraiths? Spooky. It looks like a completely different movie. The bearded gentleman. Searching. More searching. Sisters comforting each other. We blow out a candle.
Happy birthday!
There may be spoilers in that montage, but they're only spoilers if you care. It wasn't bad. The music was appropriate. You got some emotional beats, drama, sorrow, and love, conflict. The horse, women being let down by men, and guys fighting over women. Romantic, I guess. Then we have the title treatment, which is... And after the title, we get... the button.
I think a man ought to be at least artificially passionate, or he'd be sincerely dull. I require so much.
At least she admits it. This is the kind of dialogue you expect from a Jane Austen adaptation. Clever and fun, but also sort of biting. I wish they had given us more of it. Part of the allure of a Jane Austen novel is you have these women in a world that is repressive to them, who are subverting the norm and the expectations. But this was kind of just like, oh, romance. And this girl likes one guy, this other girl likes another guy.
So what?
It is what it is. And there's the end. Time to put numbers where my mouth is. The score. 8 categories on a scale of 1 to 5. The rubric is below. The copy, there was none, and we could have used some copy during the setup. The music was perfectly appropriate and completely forgettable. We'll give it a 3. The sound design, not a lot going on here. Some cymbal splashes to cover up music edits, a stop down, and a horse. Give it a 3. The graphics were basic, unrelated to the title treatment, and hard to read. I'm giving them a 1, but I really liked the frost on the window, so I'll give them a bonus point for that. The pitch. They managed to both give me an unclear description of the story and include spoilers. And I have no idea why this is different than any previous adaptation. I'll give them a 2. The editing. They had some fun and tried some things, but ultimately, the cause and effect was rarely clear. Some shot and dialogue choices were questionable. The trailer was split into 2 halves for one sister then the other. The montage was basically linear storytelling, and they committed the cardinal sin of reusing a shot. That gets a 1.5. The genre elements. First of all, it's a period piece. Of course, it looked and sounded like a period piece. You can't help that. But we were given no historical context for any of the things happening. It was also a romance. But a moment of love at first sight followed by 2 minutes of crying for indiscernible reasons isn't my idea of romantic. 2. The strategy. Not a discernible strategy that I can pinpoint. I guess the best way to describe it is maybe you heard of it. It's an adaptation of a Jane Austen book. If you want to see it, you'll see it. If not, we're not going to try to win you over. Climb aboard or wait for the next wagon. There's a 1. Hopefully they adjust their strategy for the rest of the campaign and actually try to sell this thing. We'll add up those scores, plus that bonus point, and divide by the number of qualifying categories. And the total is 2.07. A quick succession of busy nothings.
We don't care. We still want the money.
Well, what do you think? Do you have a sense that Jane Austen fans are going to fill up theaters just to see more of their favorite author's work adapted? Or are they going to sit home and be sensible, watching the old version on streaming and waiting for the new version to come out there too? I think you know my thoughts, but I'd love to hear yours. Come at me in the comments, and while you're down there, give me a thumb, subscribe, check out some of my other videos, and hit the bell if you'd like to be notified of future videos so you can see me next time.
You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step.